2 weeks after Danny called Jax out for sleeping with his staff, Jax announces he's no longer a part of Jax's in Studio City.
He sleeps with his staff.
You said he sleeps with the staff?
I have heard from numerous sources that Jax has slept with some of his staff.
I love it. He needs to stop pretending that he's choosing to do that. I've chosen to step away to protect my sobriety and my mental health. Okay. Yeah, no one believes that. And even the announcement for the show when he quit the show, disproven immediately in the reunion when Brittany's like, you said specifically you weren't sure if you're going to get fired, so you were holding off on signing the divorce papers to see if you could come for alimony. And he's like, that's not true. So you were not going to quit. You were waiting to get fired because you're a loser. All right. Today we are discussing the Valley reunion. I tuned out a lot of what Jax said. I'm not going to lie. I only clocked in on what I needed to. So if you're looking for very detailed analysis of what Jax said, you're not going to get it here. So anyway, we're going to do that today. All right. But before I do that, make sure you are subscribed and following the show. And if you're watching on YouTube, like and comment on this video. All right, let's do it. I have such a bone to pick with production. Because not only is Jax in first chair, which just feeds his ego, proves his point that it's his show, but then he's got a framed photograph of him with Cruz right behind him. So every time they cut over to Jax, there's this photo that they were like, this will be cute. They have other framed pictures. Like, to be fair, they've got like Kristen and Luke in a framed photo, and Brittany does have one with her and Cruz right behind her as well. But like, I'm sorry. That you guys really thought we were just going to sit through another reunion and be like, oh, Jax will be Jax. No, he shouldn't have been there the whole time, period. He should have come out for a segment, maybe. But honestly, they should have just kept him in the back and had like a one-on-one with Andy, if that. Because it feeds his ego to be there on stage and to do all the same Jax shit that he always does. He thinks this is what's made him famous. He thinks this is his bread and butter because it's what he's been doing for so long. So he's like, well, yeah, this is like what I do. I'm a horrible person, but then I go to the reunions and I say all the things and then that's it. He even shows up and he says to whatever producer's greeting them, he goes, I'm ready for war. Fuck you. Why are you ready for war? Oof, though, there's this flashback to when Jax and Brittany were getting married and they were saying that they were not going to do a prenup because they were going to be together forever. And Brittany's like, yeah. And it's just like, ooh, okay. You know, that's kind of why it's like you don't feel too bad for Brittany. Like, I feel bad for Brittany, I do, but not all the way. You know, it's just impossible. It's like, it really was right in front of you. Like, extreme examples of why you should run. I didn't realize that Michelle and Aaron had moved in together. I guess I totally missed that post of theirs online because she talks about that at the reunion. She said they just moved in together. And she's like, oh, yeah, we have Isabella the majority of the time or 50% of the time or whatever. And it's just like, okay, you are just torturing Jesse. You realize that, right? But more on that in a second. It's also sad to know that they've broken up. I'm like, ooh, you moved in and you broke up? I didn't realize when they broke up that, oof, that makes it really complicated because you're in a lease or whatever they're in and you got to move, you got to, oof, brutal. I would love to know what happened. Jasmine is engaged. Good for her. I totally forgot that happened. But then they get over to Janet, you know, just in their little greetings, like, hey, hey, hey. And then Andy says, wow, Janet, you've had a full transformation. What happened? Or what'd you do? And she goes, Adderall and Pilates. And I know they laughed, but I don't know why. I thought that was so gross. I don't know. I just thought, I don't know. And I have a very toxic relationship with food and with weight loss and the fitness and health industry and all that, just because I've been engulfed in it my whole life in a very like unhealthy way. So I get a joke or two about losing weight, but like, I don't know, like you're a mom too. It just really rubbed me the wrong way. Adderall and Pilates. Aren't you breastfeeding? I don't know. That just weirded me out. Maybe I'm just easily irritated because it's Janet. I was like, gross. It's also like, it seemed like she was trying to be fun, but I'm like, that's not fun. Like, oh yeah, just Adderall and Pilates. And okay. Kristen, I thought, opened so strong this reunion. I thought when she opened with that apology to Janet, it threw Janet off because she thought she was going to have to fight for anything, any acknowledgement of that. And so Janet was like, oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. And Kristen just dominated. She's like, yeah, no problem. Done? Cool? Because that's it. You need to relax. Okay. At one point, Andy asks Britt when the divorce will be finalized. And that's when we find out, well, Jax is prolonging it because in case he gets kicked off the show, he wants to collect alimony. And that's just sick. The man is he already has his tax lien against their house. And he knows that they've both been paying double what they originally were supposed to be paying just because of the tax lien. And didn't she give him like $100,000? Right? Did I make that number up? Like it was it was either 20,000 but I want to say it was 100,000, but my memory's bad. But regardless, she already gave him that money. She's paying more to freaking stay in the house because of Jax's lien on the property. And now he's going to collect alimony? Ugh. Sick individual. Okay, did everyone catch this? I'm sure people did. But they're kind of like going in between to the next topic, and Brittany says to Kristen, she's like, oh my God, I'm already shaking. And Jax says, you should. Excuse me? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see? You guys see what's happening here? No? No one? No one's like, we shouldn't have Jax here. Nope. No one? Okay, cool. Okay, there's a lot actually going on with the Jesse Michelle thing, and I have a lot of notes on it because I just was fascinated by how crazy Jesse is and like wrong he is. But I think I can still be fascinated by Jesse because I haven't been analyzing him like I've been analyzing Jax. Soon I will be over it, but I have, just to warn you, I have not to warn you, but trigger warning, I guess. That's what it is. Trigger warning, a lot of Jesse content coming up. I don't know if everyone sees the Peacock extended version because not everyone has Peacock that listens to me or watches me. So I do have detailed notes on the specifically Peacock extensions because in case someone didn't get to watch it, just want to let you know. During the initial Jesse Michelle segment, this was added in. Jesse keeps doing this where he goes, I think there's this battle between both of us where we both want to win. And I'm like, you need to stop saying both of you. You stop projecting onto her. But the dialogue is, Michelle says, I never was trying to win. There's no winning with you. And Jesse's all, you said to people that no matter what I do, everyone loves Jesse. So what were you trying to do? I'm like, that's not what no, it's like you not understanding basic like sentences. She was like, no matter what I do, meaning like no matter what I say he does to me, like no matter what I say, like she just, the time that I think she even said that was when it came out that he had said in the group chat, the boys chat, that Michelle was a prostitute or an escort, excuse me, whatever. So she's like, after that, people are still like, yeah, but I like Jesse. And so that's what she was saying it to. Sir, but he's representing himself and he should not be because he's a horrible lawyer. We'll get to that. We'll get to more in a second. But he keeps doing this with Michelle where he's like, both of us just want to win. I'm like, no, you do, dude. You do. All right. Andy goes around to the moms and the dads to get because we have very pregnant women there. I didn't realize how close Kristen and Nia were in giving birth until they were saying like their due dates are like a week apart or something. But Andy says to Danny, hey, is a vasectomy in your future? And Jax is like, I'll go. And then Britt goes, he's going to have 20 baby mamas if he doesn't. And he's just like, what? And then, of course, Andy asks like, wait, don't you use condoms? And he doesn't. Jax doesn't use condoms? look, I haven't been having promiscuous sex in ages, but you use condoms. Like, you have to. If you're going to have sex with a new partner, you need to do that. It's especially if you're different. Ew, gross. And then Britt goes, I would not touch that dirty dick with the 10-inch pole. Isn't it 10 foot? It doesn't really matter. But Jax goes, that's not what you said 4 months ago when we were out at the aquarium. And you're like, do you think we should hook up one more time? I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. And I think he says that shit to Brittany because it's always worked. And she was like, doubtful. But then she goes, now that I know everything going on and everything that you've done, I'm not going down there at all. And he goes, you literally hooked up with the guy who has been with porn stars. And she goes, you do too, porn stars and OnlyFans models. And then Jax says, you got condoms all over the floor. And Britt goes, at least I use them. This interaction was so trashy. That interaction just was, ew. These seedy feelings that you guys are giving me. Oh, God. Like, first of all, are there really condoms all over her floor? All over? Really? All over? I don't believe that for a second. I feel like Jax went through her trash and maybe found a condom and was like, I'm going to put that on the ground and like threw them around. That's the only, I don't believe him. Ever. Anyway, back to Michelle and Jesse. All right. Andy asks Jesse, is co-parenting getting any easier or any better? And Jesse says, I know that she weaponizes Isabella. And Michelle says, I don't. And Jesse actually says, read comments online. You weaponize your daughter. Wrong audience for that, buddy, because Andy can't stand when people are all up in comments and referencing, because he gets so many bad comments himself. So I feel like he gets a little, like he almost projects. He's like, hey, comments don't mean anything. Because he does. He gets trolled a lot. So he hates that. So he's like, excuse me, it's not up to the commenters. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? And Jesse goes, I know, I get it. And I do the same. No, this example is crazy too. So Michelle insists that she doesn't weaponize Isabella. And Jesse goes, well, explain what you said to my mom. Okay. Well, when you were not going to let Isabella see her dying grandmother, you then also clearly had the nerve to ask if Isabella could join you in Boston for Christmas to see your parents, Jesse. And so Michelle was like, if she can't go see my dying mother, then she's not going to freaking Boston. And Jesse thinks he's got her good. He goes, yeah, you said ever. Yeah. And everyone's like, yeah. Yeah, ever. Because she's dying. You see that she's dying? That's forever. So I just don't understand this. But then Jesse's like, oh, I'm outnumbered because Nia chimes in, Janet chimes in, Brittany starts chiming in too at some point. But like he realizes like, okay, wait, I have to change my tone because he's been living in the comments and he's been seeing how much people hate Michelle. And he's like, yes, I have everyone's on my side. So he's like, I understand. The truth is, I never said she couldn't see her dying mother. And then you can see him like trying to come up with what to say next. He's like, she planned a trip to go to Italy with her boyfriend for 2 weeks. And then he goes, I hired a behavioral therapist to teach us how to talk about mortality. I'm like, what does that have to do with the other? You're just making stuff up. But okay, fine, Mr. Lawyer, Mr. I'm representing myself. He's like, I hired a behavioral therapist. Michelle's like, we did. But I feel like if he's like, I wanted an expert witness to come in and tell Michelle that she's wrong. But instead, Michelle's like, yes, and what did that therapist tell you? That Isabella needs to go see her grandma, and you need to give me grace. And you didn't. And he's like, oh, all right. And then this is in the extended version. Andy's like, why is the divorce so complicated? There are no assets to divide. And Michelle says, oh, he wants me to pay him back for any money I spent. She keeps saying, instead of saying during the marriage, she says during marriage. Any money I spent during marriage. And Brittany whispers to Andy, ask about the wedding. And Jesse starts some long explanation. Well, the thing is, but Kristen just cuts to the chase. He wants her to pay him back for half the wedding. And Andy's like, what? He goes, okay, so you spent, $150,000 on the wedding, but at the time, were you happy to pay for it? And Jesse, I don't believe him for a second. He goes, we discussed splitting it. I fucking doubt it. I doubt it. Okay, I really do. And Andy goes, so now you want her, as you're gonna do, to pay for the wedding? And he makes this face like, oh, I mean, like, that's horrendous. Horrendous. And then Jesse keeps going, our divorce has become tit for tat. Stop saying it's tit for tat, or we're both trying to win. Okay, you're the only one titting and tatting. He goes, she wants me to pay her back for the Napa trip, which I don't believe. And Andy goes, why don't you guys just call it even? And I'm like, I guarantee Michelle would love to do that. I guarantee. The only reason maybe Michelle has come back with, what about the Napa trip? Is because you're asking to have her pay for the wedding. Like, you're just trying to take money from her. All right? Please. And then he's like, let me finish, guys. Let me finish. As I was saying, Andy, what I was working on this week as I got her discovery, and he couldn't wait to say that word. He's like, because I am a lawyer. This war of attrition, it's exhausting, and I am done. So I reached out to her attorney to figure out how to move forward, because I want her to move forward with Aaron. Oh, but the bullshit. Now he starts like kind of crying too. He's like, my life is a mess. I want to start putting out fires where I can. So I spoke to my attorney, and then thank God they're like, aren't you representing yourself? And he's so busted because you can tell everything. He's making up everything on the spot. He's making up everything he says on the spot. He's like, I have a group of consultants that I consult with. So for free? Who's your legal consultant for free? A group of them, you said. Multiple. That's funny. Sir. During these unprecedented times, I have been clutching my cornbread hemp CBD gummies like my life depends on it. I have tried all kinds of gummies, THC, CBD, you name it, and cornbread gives me the most pleasant feeling of all I've tried. I've been getting down with the THC gummies, Blueberry Breeze, and even though everything around me is a mess, it feels nice. The gummies are helping. Cornbread hemp only uses the best part of the hemp plant, the flower, for the purest and most potent CBD. It's formulated to relieve discomfort, stress, sleeplessness, and all products are third-party lab tested and USDA organic to ensure safety and purity. Right now, She's Speaking listeners can save 30% on their first order. Just head to cornbreadhemp.com/shespeaks and use code SheSpeaks at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/shespeaks and use code SheSpeaks. Where are all my chronic joint pain girlies at? That is the story of my life. Honestly, since I was in my 20s, I'm not even going to say it's my age. Since I was in my 20s, my feet have always hurt. My first ever hosting job, they tried to say heels were a shoe requirement. And I was like, I literally can't. I cannot stand in a heel for 6 hours. And I was like 21. So that is why when Vionic Shoes sponsored this podcast, they changed my life. If I had known about Vionic Shoes back in my restaurant days, I tried every insert, every orthopedic type shoe, and nothing compared to when I slipped my foot on the Uptown Willa. They were very generous. They sent me 2 shoes of my choice, and I went with the Uptown Loafer and the Uptown Willa. And I have since purchased the Monarch sneaker and their house slippers because I can't be barefoot inside anymore. All of their shoes have the Vio Motion technology. This is what sets them apart. They have harnessed advancements of biomechanics, and they've engineered just better performing shoes that strengthen your natural movement while aligning and balancing you feet first. And they are chic, okay? The Uptown Willa, the Uptown Loafer, so chic. My Monarch sneaker has some fabulous leopard print detail on it. So it's not like you're going to wear them and people are going to say, those look comfortable. But if they do compliment you on them, which they will, you get to say, and they're comfortable. So here's what you got to do. You got to go to www.vionic www.bionicshoes.com and use code SHESPEAKS at checkout because you'll get 15% off your entire order when you log into your account. And it's one-time use only. bionicshoes.com, code SHESPEAKS for 15% off your entire order. But then Andy gets into Jesse and his girlfriend. Once again, he's presenting his argument like it's not damning evidence for him. He was like, okay, so a month into dating, my girlfriend reached out to Michelle, mother to mother. And Andy's like, hold on, a month in? That sounds pretty new. And then what does Jesse say in response to that? Makes it worse. He goes, yeah, I mean, because we were dating for a month and she was spending a lot of time with Isabella. So she wanted to know mother to... You don't hear it? You were only together for like what we're trying to get you to see is that for 1 month, she shouldn't have met Isabella at all. Not even a little bit. There should have never been because that's the whole idea is that we're not introducing the new people to Isabella until it's more established. Okay. So Britt chimes in with what happened. She's like, no, I'm sorry. This is what really happened. And Jesse goes, hey, I'm glad you guys have the one-sided narrative. The story is Michelle came up to me and said, I will never, by the way, I had to write this down because I was like, what is he saying? Because he's trying to make it seem like something's really bad, that Michelle said something really bad to him. He said, I will never put my child in an unsafe position. I can introduce her to whoever I want. And Michelle's like, stop it. Stop it. She's like, I said, and I will let you know when the time is right and you can even meet him. So it sounds like what she was saying to Jesse, because he starts it, was I will never put my child in an unsafe position. Period. End of story. And I will be, because he was saying, you're never going to introduce anyone. A man will not be introduced to our daughter. I think this might just be a Peacock exclusive part. But he goes, what I said is it's different introducing a little girl to a woman who is also a mother as opposed to a little girl meeting a 35-year-old man. Oh my God. Nice try though. Really nice try. Cool. Really nice try. Janet goes, that seems sexist. And Jesse goes, it might be, but you know what? Where are you going with this? Because Andy can't wait. He's like, my little girl meets guys. So, and Jesse's like, fuck, really? I have miscalculated this. I was trying to get sympathy, but I forgot where I was. And then Jax thinks he's chiming in, I think, to help Jesse. But instead, it's missing the point, too. He goes, you just want them to be in a relationship for a while before you introduce another partner. Exactly. And that's what he didn't do. Because a month in, this person that Michelle should not even be aware of yet is calling her saying, hey, I'm spending so much time with your daughter. I just wanted to reach out mother to mother. What are you talking about? Why? No. So, okay. Okay, but Andy asks Jesse how he feels about the rumors that Jesse's girlfriend has been just talking shit about him. And Britt's like, it didn't stop there. At Melissa's birthday at Tom Tom, she was talking so bad about Jesse. She's like, I felt bad for you. Like, I don't even sleep with him. We're not really together. And Jesse, you could tell it was crushing his soul. But he was like, okay, I appreciate that, Britt, but I'm okay. I'm fine. Thank you for your concern. And he's like stewing. He's like, don't let him see it. Don't let him see it. Andy asks Janet about the girlfriend threatening legal things, which is disgusting, by the way. And Jesse defends her, saying that she didn't sign up for this. She didn't take money like Aaron did. And Michelle's like, he didn't take $1, which is crazy. He showed up and filmed for free. Like, because they're like, you're not going to get paid. If you want to come, you can't. But Jesse's like, as if it's making a big point. He goes, okay, well, he sure showed up quite a bit. Again, they're like, wrong audience, because that's good. So you're dating someone, you want to support them, you show up on the show and let them know that you're in a relationship, that's okay. But Jesse goes, Sheena had the nerve to call my girlfriend and tell her no one will like you as long as you're with Jesse. I think they cut over to Jasmine and Zach, and they're both like, well, yeah, I mean, that's true. But that was just, he said that, like, can you believe she would say that? I'm like, it's savage, but like, it's so funny. Anyway, now we move on to Jax, and I want to tune out. Something about therapy, blah, 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 blah. Ugh, they talk about the boys' chat. I hate this thing. It started at Schwartz's wedding. I am not surprised at all, though, to hear from Britt that Jax was talking shit about Jesse to her, because he throws anyone he can under the bus. Any chance he can throw someone else in front of him because he's probably doing something wrong, he will. So he's not loyal to a soul. Maybe Schwartz, but anyway. Andy asks Michelle about Jesse spending all of her money. And I think Jesse forgot that we saw it on camera. We saw him being like, I am freaking out financially, because now he's like, I'm doing just fine. I don't know. I'm fine. And Michelle goes, who's paying your rent? He's like, I am. Who's lending you money to pay your rent? It's, I don't know. we saw, dude. And on the after show. You talked about it on the after show too. Sorry, but you did. But okay, the last part of the first part of the reunion was the Brittany Jax segment. And it was just so dark hearing what Brittany really went through when she's talking about that day with the coffee table, that it wasn't just the coffee table. And it was breaking her iPad, breaking her phone, breaking all these things, and then also throwing her into the rose bushes. And he's like, I never did that. And I believe she's like, it is on my Ring camera footage. And the other people are like, we have seen it. Zach chimes in just a little to co-sign what Brittany's saying. And Jax is like, pipe down. I don't want to fucking hear from you. He was so aggressive to Zach. It was amazing. Because like Zach's like, what are you doing? Anyway. Why does Andy, though, even go here with what Britt said on Watch What Happens Live about their sex life? Like, first of all, she was asked a shady question on Watch What Happens Live. We don't need to bring it up now and have them both talk about it. Like, please, Andy, come on. Like, adjust these questions and adjust. I know that you guys always do the same thing, but come on. But Jax has the nerve at one point to say, I don't want to uproot my son. And I'm sorry. We all saw it. And I'm glad Brittany got to say, are you fucking kidding me? I literally uprooted the son. We were uprooted forever. And then you had the nerve not to pay the fucking mortgage? I could have been paying the mortgage. Oh my God, he's horrendous. And that's why the frame photo of Cruz is like taunting me behind him. I'm like, get that out of there. He does not deserve to look like a father. But then, okay, Britt asks if he's on steroids. And I'm like, thank you for asking that, because you know, they did a couple setups for the after show. So if you watch the after show, you'll see like there's a few that they have different outfits and hairstyles and stuff. For Jax's second setup, I guess, he looks thick. He looks roided out. And you can tell he's lying when Brittany's like, are you on steroids? He's like, no. You could see it. You could see he's lying. No, not at all. No, I'm not. You can tell. You can just tell. Absolutely. But Jax, even to this day, like recent, it seemed, he went through her trash cans, her drawers, was counting her condoms, was abusive and aggressive and all of that just recently. So good question, Britt. If it's not the drugs and alcohol and you are totally sober, what the fuck is wrong with you then? So then you just need to be locked up for abuse and violence. How about that? Then Jax like busts out some tears for his last little speech. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to even hear it. And then I even saw they've released a preview for next week, and it's Jax crying about his sobriety. And I'm like, cut it. That doesn't need to be a preview. We shouldn't have even had to see it. We shouldn't have even had to listen to him. Okay, please. Ridiculous, you guys. You guys are crazy for this. But sweet justice that we don't have to deal with him anymore, and that he is fired, and that he's also not going to be at his stupid bar either. And that was because of Danny, I think. Although that might have just been the cherry on top. I have a feeling it was getting to the point where it's like, if we're associated with this guy, the guy who's literally, I have to go back to this. When Jax was on Watch What Happens Live, I have never seen a comment section like that. under every single post they put up of Jax from Watch What Happens Live. First, when they were like, Jax is going to be on, or Andy was like, tweet me your questions for Jax. Every single comment was, why are you having him on the show? We don't want to see him on the show. Stop giving him a platform. So Andy didn't even have a question because they always open with the question. The number one question I get for you is, and it was just the question we got, or honestly, just people don't think you should be here. Because we were done. We were done. Okay. Anyways, all right, I'm glad I got through that. I'm like white knuckling it through the reunions because I just know they're going to be so dark and they're so, they're just, Jax is there. I just don't want to see it. So I'm just like, I hate it. But I will say Jasmine and Zach at the end of the couch are giving face like never before. Their reactions to things are amazing. And I'm so grateful they keep cutting over to them. Anyways, all right, guys, I'm going to go. I'm going to get this edited. I'm going to get it out to you. And then I will be doing a standalone episode of Orange County this week. So you can count on that for sure. And that's it. Okay, bye. Love you. Mean it. Thanks for tuning in to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. This show is produced, hosted, and edited by me, Emily, and brought to you in partnership with Cloud 10 Media. If you are looking for bonus content, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. To show some support, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Another free way to support the pod, please rate and/or review on whatever platform you listen. It's free, and it helps the algorithm or something. You could also head to buymeacoffee.com/shespeaks and buy me a coffee or two. Make sure you're following me on all social medias. I am She's Speaking with Emily Hanks across all platforms: Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's it. Thank you guys. See you soon.